What's up, guys, and welcome to episode 9 of the Chicken Pod Podcast. My name is Michael Smith.
And my name is Taywan Chapman.
And welcome back to the Chicken Pod Podcast. And welcome to the season premiere of Tournament 3. So now we have 5 new anime that we have never seen before, and we are going to be talking about the first episode of each one. And I've said it before and I'll say it again, so you don't have to watch Tournament 1 or 2 to jump into this tournament. These are all brand new anime, and you don't need to have any knowledge of the previous tournaments to jump into this one. But anyway, let's get the show on the road. So why don't you start us off, Tavon, with your first anime?
Alright, so this first anime I picked was the anime from a category that I picked that I thought that didn't look interesting based on the picture. And this anime was called Conceptions. And coming into this anime, I thought at first, I thought my screen was messed up on my phone. Because when I turned on the anime, I started seeing, like, pictures of, like, first it started off showing pictures of, like, bras. Then it showed panties. Then it showed, like, this girl with her mouth open. So I thought, I'm on the wrong website. What's going on?
What anime were you watching?
And then I get to the anime, and then the first thing that comes out, and I see this girl on the roof just minding her own business. And then this guy comes up, and the first thing she says is, "I'm pregnant." I was like, "Huh?" I was like this. She's like, "Yeah, you just couldn't keep your hands off me, could you? Huh? What is this?" So then, next thing you know, she was saying, "So do you want to find out who the father is and stuff like that?" And then after that was when all of a sudden this big green light came flashing, and then they got transported to this other world. And I was wondering what's going on here. And then when they were in the other world, it was all dark and like this like looked like a tunnel. And then all of a sudden her stomach started hurting, and then she was on her knees. And then next thing you know, she summoned this monster from her stomach, or a monster from her mouth. It was like this giant monster, and then it started attacking the guy. And then next thing you know, the guy he got like this summoning sign on his hand for some unexpected reason, and that was when he had drew a sword, and then he attacked the monster, and he pretty much just killed it in one hit. And then after that was when they unexpectedly ran into like this weird looking furry like creature, and then he was telling them to welcome to our world, and then that was when they introduced him to the king of the world. And that was when they went to the king said that they needed their help to save their kingdom or their world or whatever. And then that was when the guy and the girl, they were like, "But we're just high schoolers. What do we have to do with this? We just want to go home." So then that was when the girl, she felt she was in pain. She was still in pain. So that was when the nurse came in and took her to another room or whatever. And that was when they took the guy main character to his room. And the next thing you know, he woke up and he was on this bed, and he was chained up to this bed, like his arms and legs was chained up. And the nurse was right in front of him. I was like, "What's going on?" And then that was when they started telling him that they need him to participate in this ceremony in order to leave the world. And then she's like, "So what type of ceremony is this?" He was like, "Yeah, it's a sex ceremony. You have to do it with you have to give birth to a new child." It's like, "Huh? Where are we going with this?" So that was when the girl came, the pregnant girl supposedly came back in, and it turns out they told her that she really wasn't pregnant at all. It was just a cognitive feeling from their world, pretty much. So that was all it was. And then that was when they were like, "Yeah, so if you want to leave this world, you're gonna have to do this. You gotta participate in the ceremony." And then that was when that furry like creature was kind of like teasing it. He was like in her bra and whatnot, and lifting up her shirt or whatever. And I was like, "Where are we going with this?" And then that was when they were both on the bed, and then she was like, "But I'm kind of nervous. It's my first time and stuff like that." And then that was when she said, "Just be gentle." And that was when the end credits hit. I was like, "What?" And that was that.
I don't even know where to start with questions for this anime. There's just like, okay, so So I got my first question. Okay, so first of all, how did you feel from the entire trip from beginning to end watching this anime? Did you feel like what was your reaction going into this from beginning?
I was confused. I was thinking I was on a hentai website because I didn't know. I thought that I picked the wrong anime.
Yeah.
Because the way it was going on to start off with I'm pregnant.
Okay, yeah, that definitely.
And then when they got transported to another world, I was just like, huh? What?
Yeah, I'm like all like confused about everything that's like going on right now because like just from everything. How'd the animation look though?
I mean, I'd say the animation was pretty good. I say I get that at least out of the anime. The animation was good.
You were confused, but the animation was pretty good. And how about the soundtrack? Yeah, what was going? Matter of fact, yeah, I'm curious. What was going on with the soundtrack when all this stuff is happening?
I honestly couldn't even notice the soundtrack because I was just so caught off guard by what was going on about the ceremony. Like at the end of the day, the soundtrack just kind of I don't even remember if the anime had a soundtrack.
Oh,
that's how confused I was. I was just so caught off guard.
All right. Okay, that's fair. Okay. So, all in all, for this weird ass trip you went to, from everything you've seen from beginning to end, what would you even give this? From everything you've seen, like from the type of confusion that you have right now.
What do I rate it? I mean, I guess a 6. I'll give it a fair grade.
You actually gave it a. I mean, there's certain things that will confuse you, but maybe like it's like because like there's certain shows I watch sometimes where it confuses me. I'm somewhat intrigued. Where I'm just like, what's happening? What the hell happened? And like I'm still watching. I was like, why am I watching this train wreck? But like, what do you feel about it? Was like a good confusing? Are you intrigued? That might be the question about it.
I mean, I might change my scale to a 7 just to see what happens the next episode to give it a final verdict. Because right now I'm just more confused without any explanation.
Yeah. Because like that's the reason why I asked: was it like an intriguing type of confusion, or was it like a confusion that makes you not want to watch it? It's like too much stuff going on. All right, I'm done watching. Or you just like, what the? Why is that? Why is that baby?
I'll say it was an intriguing type of confusion just to see what's.
Yeah. Okay. All right, that's fair. Well, I did not expect that to be the first anime you was gonna talk about. I was confused just by you talking it. I can imagine how confused I would have been watching it too. Okay. All right. So that's all you had to say for that one. All right. I guess I'll go with my next anime. So the anime that I picked, which is from the category of the most popular anime, it had to be one of the most popular anime of that year, which is 2018. And the one I picked for that one was a show called Darling in the Franxx. Okay. So whenever I watch like the first episode of any anime, I usually write a synopsis before I like talk about it. And the synopsis I wrote for this anime was men and women combined together to become mechs.
Huh?
Now, okay, so don't worry, I'll explain it. All right. So, first of all, coming into this anime, I definitely say like the soundtrack caught me way off guard. Not in a bad way, but in a good way, because like it just started up opening with this huge orchestra soundtrack, and it was like, it's just this huge orchestra where I'm just like, it sounded like literally this whole band was playing, and then like the animation, like the animation was also really good as well. It was just like, it just had like this huge grand opening where it just felt like it really had me like it had me feeling the anime at first, like, oh snap, I feel like I'm about to watch like, this is about to be a 10 out of 10 anime right here, like just right from the opening itself. When it like just like started, it just had this grand opening, and then we actually get to the anime itself, and that's when we get to the main character who's talking about he's just like sitting in a forest by himself, and he's basically talking about these things called parasites, which is the type of mechs that they have in this world. And this is, and after hearing about this, I definitely realized that this was a mech anime where like basically giant robots fighting each other. That's basically like what mech anime is, like kind of like Code Geass, Neon Genesis Evangelion, Gurren Lagann, like it was like that type of anime. And he was basically talking about these mechs called parasites. So parasites are basically these mechs that can only take flight with a male and a female supporting it. So literally you legit, so they legit can only work if you have a male and a female working together to perform it themselves. That's the only way it can work. You can't be two males, it can't be two females. It has to be a male and a female supporting the mech together in order for like in order for the mech to work at all. So basically he like talks about that, and he also talks about the fact that like he like lost his he lost his parasite license, his like driving license, basically like ride a parasite, because he like did this thing to like get him in trouble, get him and his partner in trouble, to the point where like he cannot use a mech ever again and whatnot. So he lost his license for that. We don't know what it is. They never brought it up. He just only brought up the fact that he lost his license because of something stupid he did that got him and his partner in trouble. So like him and his female partner got in trouble for that, and he's just like kind of like really somewhat like not depressed, but just kind of like in like a dark place right now, because he feels like he just like let his like teammate down and whatnot. So during this time, we also get introduced to this other character, this like this pink-haired girl, and apparently this pink-haired girl is some type of, she isn't human, she's like some type of creature, and like she's like one of like the top like drivers for mech in like this in the show. And we just like kind of like get to see her more. We just kind of see like she's just kind of like this she's kind of cocky and kind of arrogant. She's just kind of like she kind of has this like more like she has this very energetic personality where like she just kind of like does whatever she wants and whatnot. And I'm gonna skip ahead so I won't like talk like too much about this. But basically we get to this one moment where like this guy, like he's like still like walking in the forest and whatnot, and like the head's like looking for like that girl like who's like one of the top like drivers there, that pink-haired girl I was talking about, and they realize like she's gone. It's like, she's gone, what? We need her for this mission. And they're wondering where she is. And then like the main character, the guy main character is like walking in the forest like usual, and then like sees like this little like pond area with like water and whatnot, and he sees that and he's like, is someone swimming in there? And then like there's this moment where like someone comes out of water, and it's the pink-haired girl completely naked. It's like, huh, what's going on? she like sees like, and then like the pink-haired girl like sees him and whatnot. He's like, oh hey, you wanna join me? It's like, and it just kind of like, it was kind of like that like anime mode where like any like guy like sees like girl naked and whatnot. He's like, like where he's like blushing and whatnot. It kind of like has that like kind of like cliche anime moment, and then like she like walks out. She's like, what's the matter? Don't you want to take it? And then like, she like trips and like falls on like the guy like falls on his breast. One, I'm like, oh my god, this is like see that part right there, this kind of irritates me. I'm just like, I've seen this a bunch of times in anime and whatnot. She's like, but the one thing I will give it credit for is that the pink-haired girl is definitely like, she didn't like take offense to that or anything like that. She's like, what, get off me, like slap him or anything like that. It was just like, oh, so you like boobs? I was like, oh, what? No. Oh, he's some kind of pervert? Oh, he seems you're kind of fun. Like he was kind of like being flirty with it and whatnot. She didn't mind or whatnot. She was like just like walking around naked, just like mind her own business, just like doing whatever and whatnot. She just kind of like just like, she was just like pretty much like talking to him like casual, where like the dude was basically like kind of like anime pro tag, where like at first I was like somewhat feeling it when he was just like talking, when he was like in this like dark mopey like mood he was when he was talking about, man, I like screwed up, I like lost my driver's license and whatnot, I like ruined my partner's dreams and whatnot. But then like he just became like kind of like anime pro tag #1, where like he just like kind of like became like that cliche where he's just like, oh no, I didn't mean to touch your boobs. Where he was kind of embarrassed about it. When I'm like, oh no, please don't become this character. And then like, and she just kind of like walks away. She's like, hey, you're funny. And then like she just walks away and grabs her clothes, just leaves and whatnot. And then like we don't see her for like a good while and whatnot. So I'm skipping ahead also a little further now. We get to this point where like now the main character, the guy character, and we see his partner. And we see him and his partner about to get like shipped off somewhere. Apparently, once you lose your driver's license, you now have to get shipped off into this wait, what?
He said she about to get slipped off.
Yeah. Him and his partner about to get shipped off to his other area.
In the wall.
Well, wait. But basically, yeah, him and his partner about to get shipped off to this like new area since they like lost their license and whatnot, and basically they're never going to see each other again. And the female just like, oh no, it's fine, I'm good. And she's like, I should have known that like things wouldn't work out between like me and you. And then like she's like crying, and then like she like jumps in the pond and she gets shipped off, and we never see her again. And then the main character is like, he's just like disappointed in himself. He still like feels feels bad about what he did, like lose his driver's license and whatnot, and he's about to jump to the pod, but right as he's about to jump to the pod, boom, just out of nowhere, like the sand or whatnot, just like in like the opening, this like monster comes out of nowhere and just starts attacking like this basically the main area of where this anime takes place, where like all the mechs are at and whatnot. And basically everyone's just wondering like, what are we gonna do? There's a monster on loose, there's the monster on loose. And then like this monster just like kind of like is about like go towards the city and is about to like destroy everything. And then like this mech comes out and then like pretty much stops it before it like gets to the city. It like kind of like stops it in its tracks, which is and this is when you get to see the pink haired girl's mech. This when she comes in with her partner, like this other like guy dude, and comes in and like stops the like monster dude and whatnot. But the monster dude is actually really strong and actually like fights back and actually like rips her mech apart for like a while. And then like it's like bro, and then like then her mech starts like it falls right towards the main guy character. And then like apparently like the mech falls right between them, and just apparently as the mech falls right beside him, the pink hair girl's partner ends up like dying just right then and there. Like, oh, I can't go on. It's like dies. So like, oh, I can't go. Oh, it's just like dies. Like, huh? And they're like, I already knew where this was going the moment I saw like this guy character die. Considering like you need another partner, you need a guy and a girl in order to use the mech. So I'm just like, oh, so of course out of nowhere this guy like, who was this girl, this generic guy who was this girl's partner, like who apparently is definitely like one of the main characters, like this pink hair girl's partner apparently dies right beside the main guy character. So what is he gonna do? She doesn't have a partner now. Who's gonna use this mech with her now? Oh, I guess I'll go and join you. And then he basically like jumps in the mech with her and whatnot, and next thing you know, they like, and this is the moment where it actually did become like pretty badass, because like the moment they like combine together with the mech and whatnot, she like grabs him and she's like, oh, if you want to become one with me, you're gonna have to give your soul to the devil. Give your soul to me. And then like she like kisses her, and then like she like he like accepts the contract and whatnot, and then next thing you know, like she like kisses her, and then like they like combine together, and then like her mech like transforms into like this, like it like evolves into this like more badass mech, because like apparently if like you have two people with like a really strong like will and a really strong resolve, it like combines together and like can create a really strong mech. So apparently they had like, both of them had like a really strong resolve and a really strong willpower, that like it sort of created the strongest mech we've like seen so far. And like it just like grabbed the monster and just like grabbed his arm right when it was about to attack, and just straight up boom, just like straight up one-shot it like it was nothing like there. And that was basically like the gist of what happened. It wasn't until that last part, like I was somewhat feeling the main character up until like the embarrassing part where he was like, oh, I didn't mean to touch you like that or something like that, where like he was kind of like getting embarrassed and whatnot. But I definitely say right when it got to that last part where they like just like when that mech came in and then like they transformed and like he like one-shotted that like a monster, when they like one-shot that monster together, that's when I started to feel it more, and the soundtrack actually got really good around that time as well. So I say like right now I'm like really curious about where this is gonna go yet. I felt like it sort of had somewhat of a slow start in the beginning, but I definitely say like it gradually kind of got me interested in the end. So I'd say right now I'd probably give it like a 7. So, and I'll see where it goes from here. I feel like this could either go up or down depending on where this goes. Because I also found out this is a shonen anime, so depending on how this show goes, this could legit go up or down. I don't know where I'm feeling with this right now. But any questions?
So, do you think this is gonna be one of those ecchi anime like High School DxD, where they just do a bunch of teasing?
Yeah, I feel like there's probably going to be a lot of fan service in this anime. I definitely see like some teasing and whatnot. After seeing the pink hair girl naked and whatnot, and plus it irritated me even more over the fact that like she had like this like long pink hair, and like just like these like little bangs of pink hair was like covering her like breast, and like just like the nipple, like you can see the breast, you just can't see the nipple. Like, huh? This ain't realistic. And she was like running, and you can just still see. I was like, nah, this ain't realistic at all. Like the hair was still covering it. Right? Nah. That was just like irritating at some point. But then like, I feel like that's why I said like depending on where his anime goes, it could either go like hit or miss. But I definitely see like there's definitely gonna be more fan service and more like stuff like that in this like show and whatnot. But anything else?
Would you say you're feeling the main character? Or you're kind of like,
I'm like, half
Get this
and
pushover
half
outta
right
here.
now. Yeah, I feel like right now I'm somewhat half and half because like in the beginning I was feeling him, and then like there was that part where he was like somewhat embarrassed. Like, oh, I didn't mean to touch your breast. Oh no, like, and then there was that part where I was like, and but then like at the end when he like combined with her, that's when I started feeling him again. So right now it's like a back and forth right now. So I don't know. I feel like I need to see more of him before I say I like the character or don't like the character right now. I say I'm like kind of mixed on him right now. That's kind of like where I'm at right now. But anything else?
No. That'll be all.
Okay. But yeah. I feel like I'm just kind of like I'll see where it goes. I feel like I need to see more of it before like I really love the anime or don't like it right now. I'm just kind of like I'm curious. That's what I'm saying. I'm curious, but I don't know where it's gonna go right now. But all right, I guess you can go to your anime next.
So this next anime was supposed to be a popular anime of 2018, supposedly.
Supposedly,
and it was called Devil. It was called Devil May Cry Baby.
Okay.
And it started out kind of, I was actually feeling it starting out. It was like, man, everybody always hates me. I don't understand why. And then it did a flash to when he was a kid, and this cat was almost dying. And this guy, and the main character himself, he had a pocket knife. He was like, well, it's going to die anyway. I don't see why you won't let me just kill it off right here. The girl was like, no, don't kill it. Stop. And then, all of a sudden, that was when the anime took a 180 because it did like a time skip like a couple of years ahead, like 10 years ahead. And it showed like they were in high school outside on the bleachers. And then it showed this girl. And she was like running. They were in the sprinting position, and it was getting like a close up on the girls in the sprinting position. Mm-hmm. And then they took off running, and then you hear these guys on the bleachers like, "Yeah, man, she's got some nice boobs. Yeah, man, she got that ass, man." That she's like, huh? Oh no! And then this guy he pulls out his phone and he's looking, and it says such and such has died, or somebody had died or whatever. And then the main character he walks over, and he's looking down at the phone. And then he just starts crying for no reason because somebody else died. What? And then they were like, "Why are you crying?" And then that was when the girl from the track showed up. She was like, "Oh, he's crying because he's crying."
What?
and then after that was when him and the girl they kind of like went walking to leave the school. And then the girl was like, "Hold on, I'll be right back. I gotta go do something." So then that was when the girl left, and she was like, by this pond area, this fishing area. And then out of nowhere, she was just minding her own business. And then I see these three guys come in, and here they go walking up to her. And they were beatboxing. They were like, and they were walking up to her. And then they were like, "Hey, yo, what up, shawty? How you feeling?" I was like, "Huh?" Nah. And then she was like, "Can you please get out of my way?" She was like, "What's wrong with me? You ain't feeling me, homie? You ain't feeling me?" And then that was when the main character showed up on the boat, and then he was like, "Leave her alone." I was like, "What?" And then that was when the guys, all three of the guys, they started throwing wood at him. They was like, "Man, get out of here, you nut." And then that was when all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this white guy in the lab coat showed up, and then he was like, "Hey, come with me, man. Yeah, you come with me." And then I was when the three gangsters, they were like, "Man, what's this guy doing in the coat in the summertime?" He was like, "Yeah, man, what's up, man? Just come with me, man. Yo, man, just come with me, man." And then that was when, and then he pulled out his gun, his machine gun. And he started shooting at the three guys. And then that was when the guy in the lab coat and the main character, they just took off on this car. They started driving off. And then the guy in the lab coat started explaining to him the strange phenomenon around the world about guys suddenly have unexpected powers and whatnot and stuff like that. And then that was when after that they got outside of the car, and then they arrived at this party. This party is kind of like I don't want to call it a strip club, but it was just I would just call it a party.
Okay.
So we get there, and then we hear the music, and I'm seeing a bunch of girls like twerking on the pole, and people in panties, and a bunch of girls that are like topless and whatnot.
Sure, well, the strip club.
And then that was when the main character came in. And he was just walking with the guy in the lab coat, and he see this girl, and she was like she didn't have a bra on at all. And the next thing you know, she just kissed him out of nowhere. She had like this. She had this pill in his mouth, and her mouth, and then she just kissed him, and then he swallowed the pill. Is this your first time? And he's like, yeah, it's my first time. I was like, huh? Or did he tell me this? So then the camera cuts to this guy and this girl, and this guy was like banging this girl. I was like, huh? What kind of party is this? And then next thing you know, the guy in the lab coat, he pulls out this bottle, and he was like, well, demons are drawing the blood. So he like bashed the bottle on the ground. And you know how people do when they hold a beer bottle, they smash it on the ground.
Yeah, use it as a weapon.
Okay. And then he just took the beer bottle, and he just started stabbing people with the beer bottle. He's like, shink, and do shink, and he just started stabbing those dudes. And the next thing you know, that was when the main character, he was like, stop, no, don't do this, don't hurt them. And then after that, that was when everybody in the club, they were like, man, get out of here, we ain't got time to be, you know, just started beating him up. And then they started beating up the dude in the lab coat. And then that was when the main character, he bumped into the girl who kissed him earlier. She was like, oh, you touched my boob, oh. The next thing you know, she started having this orgasm out of nowhere. Like, this stuff started like dripping on the ground. And then she just started transforming into like a demon. I was like, huh? What is this? She started transforming to a demon. And then she started eating and then they started eating people in the club and whatnot. And then all the other girls, they started transforming too. Like it was like a discombobulated transformation. No. It was weird. Like this dude, he was like in the middle of this sex scene with this girl. Next thing you know, she transformed and just started eating. I was like, what? And anyway, it ends up to that guy in the lab coat. He was he was about to get like eaten or whatever by like a demon or whatnot. And that was when the main character came charging in. And then that was when he transformed into a demon himself to try to save him. And then that was when he started like killing all the other demons. And then it just cut to the end credits. And then before it hit the end credits, the guy was like, so you've become a demon. And then it just hit end credits. I was like, what?
Huh. Okay. So it seems like you've been watching some interesting anime. It seems like for your list. All right. So basically, yeah, I'm pretty much gonna ask you pretty much somewhat of the same question from the last anime. So from everything you've seen so far, from like the demons, the main character, and everything you've seen, how would you say you feel about where everything's going so far? Would you say you're intrigued, or would you say it's that type of like, yeah, I think I'm out. This is too much for me. Like, how do you say you feel about it right now?
It's in between. It's like okay. I'm in a mixture of being dumb, and I'm in a mixture of being like kind of like intrigued, because I'm like, how do you go from like this sad anime to like girls in the club and just rapping? Like, what?
Yo, man, why you wearing a jacket in the summertime? I don't know what that made me like. All right. So how'd you say the animation felt like in that show?
The animation was terrible.
Oh, it's terrible.
I don't know what it was. I was like, is this... I can't even give it a PS2 graphic insult, because that would be insulting to the PS2. So I'm just like, what is this? Who designed this anime? Because the cover looks so convincing, but then when I get to the anime itself, I'm like, did you guys spend the budget on the cover? Those graphics were terrible.
All right, what about the soundtrack? How did it sound for everything that happened?
I feel the same way I felt about the first anime. I was like so confused to the point I was like, yeah, it's just like that.
Okay, I got you. Would you say you were feeling some of the characters, or were they all just so confusing that you're just like, I don't know?
I mean, I guess the lab coat guy was somewhat interested, I guess. The way he was like, yo, come with me. What?
All right. I don't think I got anything else to say after that. You basically summed up everything in the best way possible for everything you saw that was confusing. All right, I guess I'll go my anime next. All right, all right. So the next anime, and don't worry, this is actually the best way to segue it. Okay, so the next anime I saw was this anime called, and I'm gonna pronounce this horrible. Okay, Okiyashi Chito-chan. Okay, and I have a synopsis for every first anime. I already told you that, and I did that for the last anime I just talked about. But for this one, I legit put one word for this anime. And my only synopsis for this anime just says penguin. That's it. That's all it says. All it says is penguin. And you know why? Because this anime... Okay, so basically I picked this anime out of the anime that I wasn't interested in. And on the cover, it was just this picture of these penguins. And that's all it was. And I already knew, like, I was just like... It was kind of like that dog anime you saw. You knew just from the cover, you knew you wasn't going to feel that dog anime. So I was just like... It was kind of the same way I felt when I saw this penguin anime when I looked at the cover. But then I go and watch the show itself. And... okay. So it starts off with these people... It starts, as a matter of fact, even before that, it starts off with this animation, which is like, it's just like, yeah, it sounded like that. And it was just basically, it was sexy. Nah, it's fine. I don't know. But it starts off with this narration. And it just starts off with this weird narration where, like, this people are like, I don't know, it sounded like something like Morgan Freeman voice. That's how it sounded like. It was like, people come to see the bamboo grove. Penguin is doing the same. Penguin is in the bamboo grove. Penguin is intrigued by the bamboo grove. What am I watching? I didn't know what I was watching. It just showed this penguin. It was just like this weird narration, and then like it was just like, this is the penguin's first time in Kyoto, which is this like city and area, and it was just like all of these people knew the penguin, and like the penguin's name was like Chioto, and it was like, hi Chioto, oh my god, it's Chioto, hi Chioto, oh my god, I love you Chioto, which was just this like penguin who just walking in the city. It was just like, whack, 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 whack. And I was like, that's it. And
What?
Like, I was like, what is going on? And the animation was awful too. The animation was literally like, it was like if stick figures couldn't, it was like moving stick figures. That was legit the animation, how it felt. It legit, like, if they took, like, they made the character and they just had to move in like sticks. They just like moved them by the body. Like, now, you know, like certain animation, they like move the entire, you know, like regular animation, they just like move them by the body. Like they move their arm when they pick up something, they move their leg when they want to like move or walk or whatnot. They didn't move any muscle whatsoever. They just moved their entire body. Like it was like, all right, we're gonna drag and drop from here. Like it's just like, it was like weirdest. I don't even know how to describe it. It was legit like, the only way I can say it was just like, would just be like stick figures. That would be the only way I can describe it. And it was just like, by the end of it, it was just like, and this was the first time the penguin was in Kyoto, and he is now going to say farewell to Kyoto. This is his last time he will be visiting Kyoto. Penguin leaves. Where will the penguin go next? And that was it. That was the entire show. And I was just like, what the?
Huh? How many minutes was in it?
It was 8 minutes. That's why I was even more conflicted. Now, to be fair, I didn't care. I was like, oh, thank God it's over. But it was just like, oh my God. I was just like, what the? I didn't even get a chance to even grasp what was going on with the anime, with the narration and everything like that. But that was just awful. Like, the only reason, like, it was just like the penguin was just, he just went to the city. Everyone loved the penguin. Then the penguin left, and that was it. Yeah. So, you got any questions? Got any questions for the penguin? Would Tavon like questions for the penguin? Penguin likes questions.
I really don't know where to start.
Ask a question to the penguin. Penguin.
I would just leave it as I really don't have any good questions for this anime. I mean,
it's fair. That's fair.
What can we talk about?
Altogether, I'm probably like, I might give it a 1 out of 10. I might not give it a full-on 0 because I will say I'll give him credit. The penguin was kind of cute. He was kind of adorable, and that's it. That's the only thing I can.
Fair enough.
That's the only thing. Everything else, like, it was just like, what the? That's it. All right. Anyway, you can go to your next anime.
All right. So this next anime was probably, well, it's the best anime on the list right now. It was the anime I looked at that was supposed to be interesting based on the cover itself. And it was this anime called Megalobox.
All right.
And the main character, he's you remember that guy from Persona 5, that the guy who was running that
him? Yeah.
Yeah, that was the main character voice actor.
Huh.
And the anime, I was already feeling it from the start because it was kind of giving me somewhat Samurai Champloo vibes / Cowboy Bebop vibes. The way the main character kind of looked. So he came in, we started out, and he was talking in this somber voice, and he was like, "You either be quiet and do what you're told, but that's just how cowards live." And then he was riding on his motorcycle, and he had like flashbacks of him in like this boxing ring, and he took like this fall, and he lost, and he had like bruises. So then he was on his way to the next boxing competition. He was talking to like his advisor or whatever, and he pretty much he was in this match, and pretty much how he works is he's a really good boxer, but he has to always throw the match to get paid because he's not a citizen or whatever.
Okay.
So he's pretty much has to get money that way by just throwing the fight to whoever, just make it look good and lose. So he was in the middle of the fight. This was like one of the first fights of the series, and he's wearing like this like amateur. I don't know how to describe this gear, but it's kind of like, you know how Chad from Bleach, his arms look. It was kind of like that. That was kind of like the gear they were wearing. And this guy, he was up against this guy, and he was pretty much just looking at it this way. The main character was like wearing this like level 1 gear on purpose. Okay. Against these other guys that was wearing like
so it wasn't like I'm sorry to cut you off, but so it wasn't like regular like boxing gear. It was like something different.
It was somewhat like boxing gear, but it's kind of like he has like this. It is boxing gear, but it's not, because he has like this thing on his arm.
Okay.
Like they have these things on their arm.
Okay.
It'd be better if I sent you like a picture later. But then anyway, then he was in the ring against this guy with like yellow hair, and he was like talking trash to him. You think you could beat me with that gear? Look at yourself in the mirror and whatnot. He was talking all this trash. So anyway, they get in this boxing match, and the yellow hair guy's throwing like all these punches at him, and the main character, he's just like sitting there just blocking it on purpose. And then he's like listening through because he's wearing this earpiece, listening to his advisor on the mic, and he's telling him to like make the fight last for like a minute long and then like just throw the fight. So then that was when in the first round he was like taking all these hits, and the next thing you know, he got tired of the yellow-haired guy. So he started like doing all these swift like combo moves, and after that, he was about to finish him off with a final punch, but then the timer ran out. He was like, "You got lucky. You just got saved because that bell didn't ring. He would have been picking up your teeth off the ground. You're no boxer. You're just the guy wearing the gear. That's all it is." I was like, "Oh, all right." So he went back to his corner and whatnot, and he was like, resting and whatnot, listening to his advisor. And then they got back to the fight, and obviously he lost because he had to like throw the fight, obviously. But he was like kind of like pissed off. He was like, "Man, I was supposed to win this match tonight. I wanted to win," and stuff like that. So then anyway, he got on his motorcycle and he was driving off. Actually, before I get to that, he heard some news about while he was in the fight, he heard some news about some other boxing competition called Motor Royal or something like that. Anyway, he was just listening to that, and the advisor was pretty much telling the guy like, "We don't need this. We don't need to aim high in life because we're just a bunch of fakers. This is all we can amount to in life." That kind of thing. So anyway, after the match, he left and he was on his motorcycle and he was driving off. And as he was driving off, suddenly this girl was in the middle of the road walking by, and he almost hit her with the motorcycle. So he swerved on purpose. He was like, "Ew," and he just kind of like slid and whatnot. And then he got off the motorcycle, and then the girl was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, this, that, and the third," and started like talking. And then she was like, here's a plan for it. This will cover you. And the first thing he do is like, he just smacks it out of her hand. He was like, "Man, I don't want that trash. Get that away from me." And then he was like, "A true megalo boxer. Don't make me laugh. That shit's just a joke." He said that to the girl, and then she just got up, and then she just walked away. But the guy she was with, the guy was like, "You take that back. You don't know what you're talking about, you amateur," or whatnot. So then that was when the other guy, he walked up to the main character, and it was like rainy outside too. And the main character was like, "So, you gonna make me take those words back, tough guy?" And that was when he stood up in his stance, and then the other guy stood up in his stance, and then they were about to box, like without the gear at all, just playing street fights. And then that was when the girl was like, "Come on, we don't have time for this. And that was when the guy, he just walked off. And the main character made this comment. He was like, oh, look who's on the leash now. And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm going to skip ahead. The next day, they were at the boxing competition. I mean, they were at the boxing arena again. And the guy, he said, the main character was pretty much saying he was done doing this whole, like, pretending to lose fight. He just got so fed up losing to these untalented boxers. And the next thing you know, that was when the guy, you see this guy in a hood, he gets in the ring. And everybody was, like, looking around. They were like, who is this guy? And then he was like, and everybody was like, they look at him, they, like, run away. They, like, kind of looked at him, like, bro, like, they take one look at him. And they just run away. And then
damn.
That was when the guy got in the ring. He took off his hood. It's me, Austin. It was me all along. So he pretty much just took off his hood, and it turns out it was the guy from the other day. The guy.
Okay.
Yeah, it was pretty much him. And then everybody was like, "Do you not know who he is? He's a pro elite boxer or something like that. Some big name guy." And the guy was like, "I don't care." And then the advisor, he was like trying to stop the fight. He was like, "Oh, we're sorry for whatever we did to you, man. We don't want to interrupt." And that was when the main character, he hit the advisor in the face and knocked him out of the ring. He was like, "This doesn't concern you. Stay out of the ring." So then that was when he took off his earpiece because he was saying like, "I'm done just losing matches. I'm done throwing the fights." He thought he was going to take the match for real. Okay. So that was when him and the guy, they were in the ring just squaring off with each other. And then the guy from the other day, he looked at him. He was like, "I would ask for your name, but they don't make tombstones for stray dogs." And I was like, "Okay." So then that was when they both looked at each other, and that was it.
What?
And credits right
I was wondering where it was gonna end. Oh dang. Okay. All right. So I'll just say you're feeling it right now from everything you've seen so far. Like definitely like from the beginning to end. Like how you feeling about the show so far?
I'm actually feeling this anime. I give it a solid 8 to a 9. Yeah, I'm actually feeling where this is going.
Okay.
You know?
How'd you feel about
feeling it? Could have been a 10 out of 10 from the start if it started playing
that's what I was about to bring
music.
up. Like, how'd you feel about the soundtrack for the boxing and whatnot and the fights?
I mean, they didn't really play any intense music, but at the beginning of the show, I started hearing like, yo.
Oh, yeah.
Nah, we ain't going down this route. So we'll just see how the music goes in episode 2.
All right. How'd you say the animation looked during the fights and whatnot? How you think that looked and felt?
Well, unlike the PS1 graphics of the other anime, I'd say this is pretty good. I'm actually feeling this.
Okay.
Trash talk's pretty good.
Oh yeah. So far from what you told me, it actually does sound like it has really good trash talk. How do you feel like you feel about the characters right now? How'd you say you feel about them right now?
I'm feeling the main character right now. I mean, he has he's like a pro boxer who's just throwing fights on purpose, and it just doesn't look like your average boring TV show. You turn on the TV and like, all right, and here we go into the boxing ring, and he missed that punch. It's not like one of those boring competitions like
he missed a punch. That was a jab and uppercut, and he just missed the ring. Okay, and we're gonna take a break in 10 minutes. All right, we'll see you in a few minutes. Huh? What? Get back here! Yeah, I got you. Okay. All right. I think that's just what I gotta say. Yeah. Okay. You say you give it an 8 or a 9, or would you say it's like in between?
Yeah, okay.
All right. Yeah. I think I'm done now. I guess I'll go with my next anime then. All right. So this was the one I thought was gonna end up being my favorite, but then at the end it kind of got weird, and you'll get what I'm saying when I talk about this anime. Okay. So the synopsis for this anime is basically guy starts a gang war. That's basically what the gist of it is. Okay. So it starts off in the beginning where it takes place in Vietnam. It is like a flashback to the past right now. And it's like you see soldiers in like Vietnam just like chilling and whatnot, just like taking a break from the war and whatnot. And out of nowhere, these like guys are just like talking and whatnot. They're just like smooching, just like chatting like normal people and whatnot. And then out of nowhere, they're just talking and whatnot. And then I know where they're just like talking to this one dude. It's like, oh, what do you think about that, Griffin? And they turn around, and Griffin has like wide eyes or something like that. And then he's just like, what? Griffin, you okay? and he just like shoots them all. Like, what the hell? He's like, ends up shooting, and then like I know like one of the like soldiers like grabs one. It's like, what the hell are you doing, Griffin? And he's like puts him down, like pins him down, and then like the rest of the other soldiers like grab him and whatnot, and they're just like, what the hell's wrong with you, Griffin? What's going on? And then like his like Griffin's friend like comes in. He just like, yo, Griffin, it's me. What the hell are you doing, man? Are you okay? Are you working for them? Are you working for the other guys or whatnot? And then like he just says this thing. He's like kind of like he's not all the way there because like I said, his like eyes were white, and he just goes like, banana fish, banana fish. And at first I was confused, but then like it's sort of like I kind of like understood it for a second because like I realized this stuff, and I guess because like I'm an actor, I've watched a lot of like war movies and whatnot. I can tell that like the reason why he's saying like banana fish and whatnot is because like probably because he's brainwashed, because there's like because like in like old time in war they usually like sometimes the other person on like the enemy side of the war usually sometimes kidnaps one of the people in the war, and sometimes use like brainwash them by playing like audio soundtracks and whatnot again and again for like days and whatnot, or even weeks, and just play it again, and weirdly enough like brainwash them or like does something to them, or like gives them a drug to like brainwash to them, so like if they hear a certain word, it like triggers them or something like that. Well, like just out of nowhere, like I'm just like talking to you like normally. Like imagine if I was in war and I'm just like, oh yeah, hey, what's going on, Tavon? You realize like talking normally, and then like some stuff happened to me in the past. This out of nowhere, you're just like you say some word that triggers me. Like, oh yeah, you see that pine cone right there? Pine cone. Oh no, what are you doing, Michael? Pine cone. And, like it's just like there's like certain words that, like triggers people's like old mentality to like back to when they were like brainwashed and whatnot. It's a weird thing, but yeah, that actually does happen in like war and whatnot. But anyway, we get back to like after Vietnam, we get out of that flashback and we get to the present day. And I definitely say right off the bat when like the show started, the animation was crisp. Like this legit, like when I saw it for the first time, it was the best animation I have. It's like literally from the moment I saw it, one of the best animations I've ever seen. 100%. It would be up there with like K Project, Fate Zero. It's legit, like straight up when I saw it. It went from like this like 3D overview to like and then like zoomed in, and it was just like it was like this weird shot that I've never seen before in anime, where like it zoomed into the earth, then it zoomed into the city, and it's like 3D overlay, and it zoomed into like, and it zoomed in and transformed into 2D. It was weird, but it really got me hooked in the anime right off the bat. And then we see the main character of the show, and this is where we actually get to see the main character of the show, who walks in and he sees like some of his boys just like killed this guy and whatnot. He's like, what the hell did you guys do? What did you do? What did you do? He's like, well, what? No, Dino told us to do and whatnot. Dino, you guys work for me. Get out of here and whatnot. All right, nah, you're off the case. Get out of here. And he's like, sees the dead person. He's like, damn. And he's just like really irritated and mad right now. And he just says like, all right. And he goes sees this guy named Dino, who was at the time the head of this mafia group that he used to work for. Like, and the main character's name is Ash, and Ash used to work for this mafia group. He was actually raised by this dude, this mafia guy named Dino, but now he's like already left Dino, and now he's like the leader of his own gang and whatnot. And he's basically going up to Dino right now and talking to him because like apparently some of his boys ended up killing this guy when like he told them not to do it. But apparently like Dino paid them to do it and whatnot. So he was just like pissed off about that. Like, why would his men like do something that he didn't tell him to do? Because like Dino told him to do it. No, they don't work for Dino, they work for me. So he was like really pissed off about that and whatnot. And Dino was just basically just like this very like calm person, just like a very calm person. He's like, calm down. No, it's all right. Hush, have some candy. You want some candy? It's all right. I got you, baby. I was like, huh? What's going on? I was just like, it was just the way he was like talking. It's just like, after finding out what he is, it made sense why he was talking like this. And he was just like, remember, I was the one to raise you, baby. Come on, you know it's all good education. No, I was like, what the hell? And it was just like, and they was just like, you know, I wouldn't do anything to you like that. Come on. And they just left. He was like, and Ash just like left here too. What? Man, get your hands off me, freak! And they just walked off. They was like, come on, you know I love you, sweetheart. I love him rough. And like, Dino was weird. And then like, And then like we get to like Ash like talk to one of his friends and whatnot. He's like this little black kid who like gives him like information and whatnot. And he's like, oh yeah, you went to go see Dino? He's like, yeah, I went to go talk about that. He's like, oh yeah, I'm shocked you went to Dino. I know you usually can't like, I know it's hard for you to talk to him sometimes because like he's not only vindictive, but he's like vindictive and gay. And I'm like, huh? And it's like, oh, now that makes sense. Okay, after he said that, because I'm just like, yeah. So he basically like brings that up, and then like he basically goes to his house, and then we see in his house is this guy in a wheelchair, and this guy in the wheelchair is the guy we saw from the Vietnam flashback, Griffin, the guy that was brainwashed and like said those like weird words like banana fish, and he's like still like mumbling those words and whatnot. He's kind of like dead, like not like dead as in like, not as in dead as in like deceased, like gone or whatnot, more like dead in the brain, where like he's just kind of like empty, where he's kind of like just like a shell of himself, and he really can't really talk, and he's just like all he can say is banana fish, and that's why he's just kind of like sitting in his wheelchair. And the reason why Ash is like kind of like looking after her and looking at him like that and kind of like taking care of him and whatnot, he's like talking to him like he's like the main person who usually talks to him and whatnot. He's just like, oh yeah, I'm here, Griffin. Oh yeah, you want something to eat and whatnot? He's like kind of like giving him food, and he's just like the food's just like kind of like falling off his face and whatnot because he's kind of like basically like dead in the brain basically, and he's just kind of like, Ash is kind of like pissed off about it because we find out later on, but Griffin is Ash's big brother and whatnot, and he's been looking for and Ash has been looking for a cure to like get him out of that like that brainwashed state and whatnot. Just been like talking to doctors and whatnot, trying to get him out of that like weird state that he's been ever since Vietnam and whatnot. So anyway, I'll skip a few ahead because I haven't talked too long, especially with that Vietnam stuff and whatnot. But basically, we get a little further into the show, and right now I'm like liking Ash right now. Like he's just like he's like this dude in the game where he has like this like blonde hair. He's just kind of like this like the leader of gang. He kind of has like a really good like personality with him and whatnot, but he doesn't take shit from anyone. And he basically like goes up to the rest of his gang and whatnot, and he says like, okay, so apparently 2 of you ended up doing some work for Dino and not for me, because Dino apparently paid you guys. But no. I want you guys to realize that you don't work for Dino anymore. You work for me. Me and Dino are on equal standards right now. We're equals right now. He's not ahead of anyone right now. He's on my level now. So, and he basically just went off on like his entire gang or whatnot. And then he said like, oh yeah, if you want to go over to Dino right now, if you want to go over and work with him and suck his dick and whatnot, you can go right ahead. But you work for me and me alone. So if you work for anyone like Dino again, then that means you're an enemy of me, and that means I'm gonna have to kill you. I just want you to remember that. And then like he goes up to the people that like end up killing that dude and whatnot. He's like, what are you gonna do with us? We didn't mean to betray and whatnot. Oh, don't worry, it's fine. Okay, so we're all boom, dead. That's it. He's like fall on the ground. All right, come guys. And then like British, he's like he took his game. He's like, all right, let's go. And they just walked off. They just like, all right, let's go. And then like the rest of his game just kind of walked off of him. As the rest of the other two just like are just on the ground, just dead. I'm like, all right, it just like walked off like that. It just like boom, all right, what's done is done. And just walked off and whatnot. And then we get to his other dude who comes in, who I believe is he looks like his right man. He like is a part of like Ash's gang, and it's this other dude. I forgot his name, but he kind of has like, he kind of looks like, weirdly enough, like a fusion between like Loxus from Fairy Tail and the red haired dude from K Project. Like a weird fusion of them, because it kind of has like, yeah, it's weird because he kind of had the jacket from doing K Project, but at the same time he also had like the spiky hair that also looked like somewhat of a fusion between like the dude from K Project and the dude and like Loxus and Fairy Tail, because it was like spiked up, but at the same time it wasn't red, it was blonde. So it's just like kind of like a weird thing. He was like Ash's right hand man and whatnot, kind of like talking and whatnot, and he was just like he was basically just like talk about whatnot. He was just like, man, you seem more pissed than usual. You seem more irritable than usual. He's kind of like playing around with him, but at the same time, it's kind of like talking shit to Ash and whatnot, kind of like giving him shit and whatnot. He was just like kind of like talking down to him. He was just like, I don't want to hear it right now. Blonde hair dude, I can't think of his name right now. Spikes. I'm just calling him Spikes now because I just remember Spikes here. I can't. I gotta do it for right now. Spikes, I don't want shit from you right now. All right, let's go. And he's like, all right, whatever. It is what it is. And then this is where we get to the point where it kind of like puts a point down for me at this point. This is where we get to this other character. This other character comes in called Ijori, and he works for the police. And at first he comes off as actually a really good character where he like talks about like, all right. Tell me about these gangs and whatnot. And he's kind of like this like private detective and whatnot. And he's kind of like this also like this journalist and whatnot. He's like, I want to study some of the gangs around here. 'Cause I know there's a lot of like gang violence and whatnot around these parts and whatnot. Oh, if you want to talk about like one of the cops like told him, he's like, oh, if you really want to talk about like gangs and whatnot, like the biggest head of the group right now is Ash. He's like the biggest like young head of like this biggest gang right now. And he's like, Ash, okay, he's a very interesting character, but I've seen him before and I've seen him again. And at first I was thinking like, okay, I'm thinking like, because the way they presented Ittori made it feel like this is gonna be like Ash's rival and whatnot. That's what I feel like. This is where it's going and whatnot. Where like you have like this criminal mastermind Ash right now was like the leader of this gang, and then you have like this detective who's trying to take him down. You have like Ittori and whatnot, and he came off as like this actual like he looked like he was actually going to be like this like actual like badass cop and whatnot, trying to stop Ash and whatnot. But then we get to the moment where they actually meet up, where like Ittori meets Ash and whatnot, and they're like. And then, like, Ittori comes in, and he's just like, oh, yeah, I'd like to just talk to you and whatnot. He starts, like, questioning Ash and whatnot, question all the things you're doing right now. He's like, oh, you think you're doing this for the right cause? No, you're just another thug like the rest of it. He's like really talking down to Ash and whatnot. They're actually having this, like, really back and forth conversation. But then we get to this one part where, like, he's like, oh, yeah, have a drink with me and whatnot. And then he's, like, drinking and whatnot. And then, like, Ittori's, like, drinking, and then he's, like, looking at Ash. He's like, Ash. And then, like, he starts blushing. I'm like, huh? What? And then he starts like blushing. I'm like, what? What's going on? And then it started like getting the point. I was like, wait. I'm thinking it's gonna be a rival. Wait. Why is Ittori looking at him like that now? Because at first it was like, at first the thing was like, it's gonna be a rival. It's like Ash, so bad, huh? That like caught me way off guard. I was like, I didn't think it was going that way at all. But all right, so that's when it just kind of like, and then what made it ruin even more over Jory was like Dino's gang came in, and they like came into the bar and started like beating up some of Ash's gang, and then like there was a huge like gang fight at like the end of the show and whatnot, and then like Ash came in and these like literally these moves literally felt like some Spike Spiegel moves. He was literally doing like flips and stuff like that. It legit felt like some moves like Cowboy Bebop, the way he was like fighting. It was like his hand to hand. He was coming off as like badass and whatnot with this. But then like Ittori, when like all these like gangs came in and started fighting and whatnot, he was like, don't hurt me. Like he like went under the desk, and I'm like, huh? What happened?
Wait, Ittori?
Yeah, Ittori like right. Dude. I'm like, what? I'm like, what? No. I'm thinking this character's gonna be cool, and then like he like went under the desk, like, don't hurt me. I'm like, what? This like, and then like one of like the people like captured him and what, they like grabbed him, like take him like Dino's men, and then like they like took him inside of a car, and then they like drove off, and then like Ash went like outside, he like saw the car driving off and whatnot. It was like a far distance away from Ash and whatnot, and like Ash just grabs a small handgun, he just aims it right at the car, and then like he just like kind of like squints his eyes a little bit. He just squints his eyes a little bit, and then boom, headshot right at the driver. Literally just like far away. He just like boom, headshot, and then like it just ends like right there. That's like around the time where it ends and whatnot. And then like there's like this little thing of what as well. Like one of the gamers they like throw the there's like grab the person, they like drive off and whatnot, and then like they like take the like he's dead, and then they like, took the driver out. The other person in the gang who was in the back seat, he was like, I'll drive. He's dead now. And like they drive off again. So they still have him kidnapped. And then like Ash grabs a motorcycle, and then he drives off with them, still like going after them. So here's the part where I'm conflicted over right now. Okay. So right now I'm like really feeling Ash. Ash is definitely the best part of this show. Completely right now. But definitely with the Ajori stuff, like the whole rivalry and stuff like that, I'm like, don't hurt me and all that stuff and whatnot. And also, here's the part that makes me conflicted about this as well. And this is not me talking about any like gay people, whatnot. I think anything like gay people or anything like that. But here's the part that really irritated me. I have not seen one woman in this show, not one female in this show. So that's making me think that. And the way that Ittori was looking at Ash, it's making me think, I'm still intrigued about the show, and I'm still like really enjoying the show. But after the way Ittori was looking at Ash and the way it started, and he was like blushing and stuff like that, I'm thinking, is this show gonna go the route that I think it's gonna go? Now I got nothing against gay people. I think gay people are cool. Matter of fact, I'm not gonna be that one person. But I'm not gay. I'm not homophobic. I got a gay friend. No, I do want even better. I played a gay character in acting before, so like it's fine. I got nothing against them. I think it's cool. Like it's fine with that. But the problem.
But you didn't kiss one like I did.
But here's the problem I have with this. I feel like with certain things like that, and I feel this way, whether it be like gender stereotypes, like race stereotypes, or even sexuality gender types. I feel like the fact that I've not seen one female in this show, I feel like they're like forcing it in, especially the fact considering like Dino the mob boss is gay already. Now we have like Jory coming in. I'm thinking he might be gay too. I feel like if they're going this route, I feel like it's so. And this only if they go this route, it would feel like it's so forced in there. Where like they're like trying to like set a measure for like, yeah, we can find love also. And I feel like it would just ruin Ash's character where like he's just savage and just end up with this cop dude. And I would say the same thing even if this was like a female cop character, and it's just like it just wouldn't work out. And that's only if Jory comes and he's like, you know what, I always loved you. And Ash's like, you know what, I feel the same way. Now that's the only way I would feel that way. But so far Ash doesn't come off that way at all. He doesn't come off as like he's like feels the same type of way or anything like that. No, he doesn't come off that way whatsoever. So far Ash is my favorite character. So far he's like one of my favorite characters I like so far out of this anime and whatnot. So depending on where that goes, I don't know where I feel about it. But right now I'll give it a 7 out of 10. It almost got that 8. Even 9 in the beginning, but right now I'll give it a good 7 just because it really depends. Almost like Darling in the Frogs, where like it depends on where they go with the next episodes for me to feel about this anime and whatnot. If they go around thinking they're going, then like that's when I'll probably take some points off. But if they don't go that route, then like I'll probably add up the score later. I might like actually give it an 8 or a 9 later on. But that's how I feel about it right now. But any questions?
Any questions? Well, I'd say. I mean, you pretty much just expressed your whole opinion about the show.
Yeah. Only because I was just conflicted enough, just because I feel like I need to get that out of the way and just like say just because that's the only thing that's conflicting me from giving it a higher score and whatnot. Because this could have been like my favorite out of all of them if it just didn't like if I didn't sense that right at the end and like just like felt like that right at the end. Say what?
Wait. How did that fusion guy turn out? Did he live up to his expectations?
You mean, oh yeah, that dude. Oh yeah. So far, we haven't seen much about him, but so far I'm liking the character. Like so far, but like he only had that little bit of screen time, and like when he was like just like talking to Ash, but that's as much as we've seen of him so far. So like until we see more of him, that's why I have more of an opinion on him so far. But so far, it seems like a cool character. So far, I'm liking him.
Okay.
Okay. I guess you can go to your character right now. Not your character. I mean anime. My fault.
So this next anime was called Hino Festival. When it started out, it was this girl fighting off all these guys with like she just had like just something she found on the ground like a rock or a piece of wood. She was like beating these guys up. She was like shing. She was like beating all because they had like staffs and whatnot, and she just had like a pebble or something she found on the ground. She was winning. I was like, all right, I'm feeling it.
Oh snap!
And the next thing you know, out of nowhere, we'll just do a time skip to like a few years earlier to when she was like younger. So out of nowhere, this mafia gang dude, he was like sitting in his home, like just I think he was watching TV or brushing his teeth, and out of nowhere, this like portal comes up, and like this girl just falls to the ground in like this little pod or whatnot. Like her face is all that's showing, but the rest of her body's like trapped in this pod. He looks down, he looks at the girl. Must just be my imagination. Turns off the light, goes to his room, goes to sleep. Wakes up the next morning, the pod's still there. He looks at it. Maybe it's still my imagination. He walks away. The girl's like, wait, hold up. Can you do this for me? I'm trying. So he goes to the pod, and then he opens the pod. And after he undoes the pod, the girl, she rises out of the pod. And she's kind of like, she's all like naked and whatnot. She's like a teenager. She's like, clothing, please. Clothing. I ain't your parent. Get out of here. And then I was when she started using like her powers to levitate stuff. Her powers like levitate like anything. She's like cars or anything like that. She started like breaking some stuff. He was like, man, all right. Here's some clothing. Man. And then after that, she like sat on the couch or whatnot, and they just started like talking or whatever. And like pretty much, it was just pretty much just like a quick comedy stip. Like she was trying to like tell him to do stuff, and he'll like say no, and then she'll like break stuff and whatnot. So then that was when they like came to a deal. And she told him, and she said she wanted to go to school. And he said, sure, but you just can't use your powers at school or whatever. So that was when she went to school. She pretty much just slept through the whole entire class and whatnot. And then that was when she got home. And then that was when all of a sudden this explosion happened. And then he came in and looked around. All he saw was, you know how it was when you first moved, when I first invited you to my house?
Yeah.
Like, nothing was there.
That's what he saw. Where's the furniture?
He came in. What happened? Where's the furniture? Where's everything? Oh, if I don't use my powers, it'll go out of control. Why didn't you tell me?
Where's the furniture?
Oh, that was funny. So then we skip ahead, and then he was trying to figure out what to do with the girl. So then he had like this job offer that like the higher ups in his gang told him to do. So he had to like go in this area, like plow like trees and stuff like that. And then that was when he told the girl to like just cut up the trees and whatnot. Pretty much yard work, cut down trees and whatnot. And then he was like praising her. He was like, "Your power is awesome." He was just like, huh. She looked at him. She was like, "I know that look." He was like, oh yeah, sorry. I'm not trying to take control of your power or whatnot. So then that was when all of a sudden he got a call from like this mafia gang boss. Well, like pretty much the leader. And then he said like the boss is in trouble. And you said you'd be the one to help him out, right? Remember? And that was pretty like he didn't actually say that, but it was something he was pretty much saying that to the girl when she was at school. Yeah, that's what he was talking about in his thoughts. But they thought they were talking about the boss. So they sent him on his suicide mission. They were like, yeah, you have to do this. So they handed him the gun. And it's pretty much one man going to like this big hotel. And he has to handle all of them by himself. So he had the girl in the car. And he was like saying like, what do I do, man? This is a suicide mission. And the girl pretty much like volunteered to help him with that. He was like, nah, I can't have you like use your powers for like the wrong purpose and whatnot. And then she was like, it's cool. I mean, you're different. You're not like controlling like everybody else. So she pretty much just went in and like just like took out all the guys in like the hotel or whatnot. And then after that, that was when she pretty much rescued the boss, and that was when he went back to the mafia boss, got a promotion, and that was
so
it.
How you see how you see from like everything you've seen so far, from like what you've like from what you like watched from like the characters and whatnot, how you say you're feeling the anime right now? Do you like the progression? Do you feel like you like your characters, or are you just kind of like about it? Like, how you feel about it so far?
I feel kind of because I like how they did it at the beginning earlier, where this girl was like beating up everybody with like something she found on the ground. I was like, okay. And then we just skipped to her doing Levitate the Village. I was like, So I'm feeling kind of meh right now, because I'm like, well, I could go either one way or the other. I feel like I'll probably end up dropping this anime, because I did run into this anime, I think it was like a year ago, and I dropped it. So I'm probably going to do it again at some point. I don't know what made me drop it, but I just did. So.
Okay. Okay, so how did you feel about the animation in this show then, compared to the other anime you had?
I mean, I'd say the animation was good, especially when it came in. Where's all my stuff? Where's the TV?
What did you say about the soundtrack for this show? I'm curious.
Nothing. No soundtrack really stood out for this anime either.
Okay, it was just kind of
yeah.
Okay. All right. So far from like, since you say you're kind of by, except for like the first part where you saw him like murking those like boys and whatnot, what would you say like you probably, from what you've seen, what would you probably give it so far?
I'd give it a fair 7.
Would you say you're positive with that 7? Because that was, it sounded like I give it a 7. 7. You wasn't completely sure about it.
I'm not really sure, because I feel like this whole mafia thing, they didn't really like give it like some kind of twist to it. Like how they did with A Hero No Sora, that basketball anime, where they had like some kind of twist to it, or Your Anime, where they had some kind of twist to it. This one just feels kind of like just this guy working for the mafia.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I get the girl's supposed to be a twist, but it's not really a strong enough twist to get invested.
Yeah. Okay. So would you say you're so would you still give it a 7, or would you give it a 6 because you're not as invested? Like, how invested would you be like to give your like the rating you would give for it? Would you say you're invested enough to give it a 7, or would you like you say like still conflicted about it?
I'm still conflicted.
Okay.
Because I feel like I got a feeling like I know where this route's gonna go.
All right. Okay. Let me see. Yeah. I think. Yeah. That's about all the question I got for you right now. All right. Yeah. All right. I guess I'll go to my next anime now. All right. Okay. So this anime came from the one that you recommended me, which. At first, I don't know if you recommended this one to me as a joke at first, but I remember I told you that like a few people recommended it to me anyway beforehand. But this anime is called Bloom Into You. Okay. So the synopsis with this it's basically an easy synopsis. It's basically like where it ends up at that really is the intriguing part of the show. But basically the synopsis is basically girl meets another girl and then ends up falling for that girl. That's basically like somewhat of like the gist of like the small gist of everything, but that's just like that's just a small gist of the bigger picture, what like really goes on and whatnot. So we get to the anime, and it's basically like in this like very like slice of life very scenario and whatnot, and we see this high school girl named Yu, who's the protagonist of the show. She's like this female girl with like pink hair with like these two like ponytails and whatnot, with these two like pink tails and whatnot, and she's basically picking out a club for like some student club for like whatever she wants to do for like high school and whatnot. And she's just talking to her friends, just wondering like what like club she's gonna like join and whatnot. And then she kind of gets duped in by her teacher to join the student council club, just because they like needed some new members for the student council club, because apparently some of them like kind of like either left or got sick or whatnot, so they need like new recruits or whatnot. So he kind of got duped in and pitied by her teacher. She was like, all right, fine, I'll go. And basically we also and as she's like going to the student council club, she sees this girl. She sees this girl. She like sees this girl talking to this guy and whatnot, and she kind of like snoops in. She kind of like spies on her and whatnot. She kind of like because like obviously she's not supposed to be there, because like this guy's like confessing to his girl or whatnot, and she's like, oh shit, he's all right. I'm just hide behind here. I don't want to get in the way of this and whatnot. So she's just like looking at this guy confess to girl and whatnot. She's like, I always love you. Please be mine. And that's like what the guy was saying and whatnot. And she's like, oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just not into you and whatnot. And she's like, oh, okay, I get it. You think you're better than me? And then like runs off, and I'm like, oh, okay. And I was basically a confession. He just runs off, and then like the girl after like after the guy like runs off and whatnot, that just rejected that guy, basically like, oh, and I can see you from back there, huh? What? And then like the pink hair girl like gets out of the bush and whatnot, because she was like hiding in a bush, and she's like, oh, you're I forgot her name, you Namake and whatnot. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, nice to meet you and whatnot. And then like she introduces herself, and then she says like, I'm a Toka Nami. Oh yeah, Tokonami. That was her name. Yeah. So he said, "Oh yeah, I'm Tokonami. I'm the head of the student council club and whatnot. I'll show you where the student council club is and whatnot." And she basically showed her the way to the student council club and whatnot. And basically, most of the just what happened now, we actually get a flashback to this other mode, like you said that she also got confessed by this guy in middle school, and she like never gave him an answer or whatnot, and she didn't know like what to say, because it was like the first time she actually like got confessed by someone and whatnot. And then like there's this moment in the show where like a bunch of people from the student council club was talking about like how like she always got like how Toka, the girl with black hair and the head of the student council club, like a bunch of the people from the student council club started talking about how like she's always like rejected a bunch of guys and whatnot from like just like multiple times, like, oh yeah, like over like 10 people's like she's like rejected like over 10 people and whatnot. And then she was just like, oh yeah, I guess it's only because like I just never really like felt a spark or anything like that. I don't think I'll ever find like love or anything like that. And it was somewhat like I had like a mixture of like when they was talking about this, because they like talked about like a bunch of stuff about like, love and relationship in the show and whatnot, and it was like kind of like a half and half feeling for me. It was half kind of somewhat like intriguing. I was kind of into it, and then the other half is somewhat like kind of cheesy, like lovey-dovey and whatnot, where it's like I just don't need to find the one for me. And I was like, it's just like you know what I mean, kind of like that, like kind of like that she like somewhat like it was like somewhat half and half with it. But I definitely say when we get to the last part, which I'm almost done anyway, yo like there was the part where like actually like got me though. Okay, so basically she like you because you was never talked about the fact that, like, this middle school person, like, confessed to her after the end of middle school, like right as middle school ended, her like friend like confessed to her and whatnot, and she never gave him an answer and whatnot, and then like she never brought this up to someone, and because she didn't know what to say about it. So after hearing the fact that Toka's like rejected all the people who's like talk to her and whatnot, she actually goes up to Toka and actually like asks her for some advice and whatnot about like what happened and whatnot, and then she says like, I don't know what to do, but I think you actually understand what I'm going through with the fact that like this guy. She basically tells Toka, the head of the student council club, like what happened, and that she like doesn't think she wants to be with this guy and whatnot, because like, I think I should understand what you mean about the spark. I don't think I've ever like felt that and whatnot. And then she's like, Toka's just like, oh yeah, do whatever you want, if you feel like he's not the right one, then say no, but if you feel like you want to be with him, then be with him and whatnot. She's basically like gave like a pretty like regular answer, which pretty much like, yeah, that's basically the gist of it and whatnot. Yeah, I feel like that was a good answer. And then like she like, you went on the phone and basically like rejected the guy. She like apologized, like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean anything about it. And then like the guy was like, at least he was better than the other guy that got rejected. He was like, what, you think you're better than me? And then ran off like that. He's like, no, I get it, I understand. And then like he just said it, and he's like, it's cool. And then like he like hung up and whatnot. And then like out of nowhere, as she's like talking, and Toka's been looking at you for like a minute now, and then like she like, I don't know why this somewhat got to me, but it was weird how this happened. Like, I blame the soundtrack, because out of nowhere, as she's like, because during this entire time, she's been like looking at you for like the longest time, and then like after like the phone call and whatnot, you was like, I did it, Toka. I did it, Toka. I told him how I felt, and then like you out of nowhere just like not you, Toka out of nowhere just like grabs her hand, and like she just like looks at her, and she's been staring at you for a while now. She's like, I think I'm starting to finally understand. You know how I feel. I know you say you never felt that spark, but I think I'm feeling it now. And out of nowhere, at first, this could have came off as like lovey-dovey or cheesy, and at first I thought I was gonna feel that way, but then out of nowhere, this like soundtrack that I've never heard ever, like just like came on, and it's like, for some reason I'm like, why this give me a chill? Why is this actually good? This is like came out of nowhere. It's like, do you feel that spark too? And then it's like this moment where like Toka's like it's like kind of like that moment where Detroit Becomes Human, where like they're like holding each other's hands, where like they're like touching each other's hand by hand like that, where like she's like looking at her like eye to eye. She's like, I might be feeling that spark right now. I don't know what's happening. And then like this soundtrack, it's like this like, and usually in the show it's like it's like this like piano score anyway, but I know where this like big piano score with this violin playing in the background started playing. It's just like so felt for me in the air. I sort of like kind of like felt for it. I was like, oh, am I feeling that spark too? Like, what's going on? What is this? I don't know what happened to me, because any other time this could have came off as like cheesy or somewhat lovey-dovey, but weirdly enough, because of that soundtrack, I sort of somewhat felt it, and that's where like the anime left off it right there. Like she would say like, do you feel that spark too? And that's where it ended off right there. So it's just like, I'm like, at first I was kind of from like the beginning of the show to almost like to the beginning of the show before the ending of the show, I was kind of like mad about the show, where I was kind of like, there were some parts of it when they was talking about relationships, whatnot, I kind of get, and then there was other parts that were just kind of like cheesy. But then that last part just kind of caught me off guard, where I just started really feeling it, where I was just like, I don't know what happened. But now, like, at first I was thinking about giving it a 6, but literally just for that last part, I might just give it a 7, just because it actually got me. It kind of like picked up that investment in the show. It just got kind of like back, and I don't know about it. Sorry, and I'm invested again. Okay, hold up, wait, what the, why am I into this? Why am I kind of got into the show at the end right there? So like, that's kind of like where I'm at right now. So I probably like, yeah, about like a 7 out of 10 right now. I probably get right now just for that last part. But any questions?
Okay, so you're starting to think the show's gonna stick around to the end?
Like, I don't know if it's going to end up sticking around to the end. I feel like this could go either ways. Well, see, this is the problem I have with most of the anime on my list. I feel like they can go either way for most of these shows. It can legit, except for the Penguin. That one's not. That was getting dropped. But anyway, all the other ones, I feel like, I don't know where this is gonna go. This could either end up being really good or really bad, depending on where they go with the next few episodes. So I'm kind of like in the dark, where I don't know what is gonna happen right now. So that's kind of like where I'm at right now. Where like, cause it took like the last part for me for it to like really pick up and like really get me invested. But like right now, I don't know where it's gonna go right now. So I'm kind of just like I don't know. But hey, any other questions?
Do you feel like this anime is kind of glitchy? Like how you felt about the other anime? You was like, those guys.
Oh, you mean like kind of like cliche, where like it was kind of, it's kind. I actually see, and that's why I was actually somewhat feeling it at first, because at least there were actually guys in this show and whatnot, and I actually saw them. Where like in that other show, I was just like, I just noticed I have not seen one female in this show so far. What is going on? Like that actually got me worried. But for this one, I definitely feel like the build up is definitely better compared to that other show, because I felt like it makes sense for like why like the fact that like it makes sense for like in like Toka's point of view, considering like she's like rejected all of these guys, not because there was anything wrong with them, because like it's just like she was never kind of like into them and whatnot. And after seeing like it's like, oh, okay, it makes sense because she wasn't into guys. That's why. Okay, that makes sense. It's like at least like I could see for that one, and that's why like when she like saw it was like a different like thing she never felt before, and that's why she didn't get that from like any guy that like she was like ever like talking to and whatnot. So like at least I can kind of like see it like that and understand like why she like didn't feel it for the longest time and whatnot. So yeah, I definitely say it was better compared to like that one where I was just like, there ain't no girls in this show. Where are the girls? It just caught me way off guard. But yeah, that's kind of like where I'm at right now. But anything else?
Okay. No, that'll be all.
Okay. All right. I guess you can go to your last anime then.
So this next anime is called Persona 5.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one. I forgot that was the one I recommended you.
So it starts out on the main character's in this casino, and these guys are his crew is communicating him through the mic that he has to get out of there, because it was they're like, yeah, great job distracting him, and then like he's like running away and whatnot, and then this girl comes, and then all of a sudden he's like surrounded by enemies, and then this red-haired girl just comes in, and she like saves him. It's like, don't forget about the promise and whatnot, and then out of nowhere he eventually escapes the palace, and then he falls outside of the window. And all the cops surround him. You've been sold out. Get him! And after that, he wakes up. He's in the dark room. He's all bruised and beat up. And then he's looking at the camera. And this guy walks in and interrogates him. What are you looking at the camera for? You think that evidence is going to stop this? And then he looks and sees that needle on the ground, that he's been drugged and whatnot. And after that, he tells him to sign his name to commit to the crime. So he pretty much just signs his name, Ren Amikui. And then that's when this blonde girl comes in to the interrogation, and she tries to tell him where it all started. Like, why did he target this victim and all that stuff. And then that's when he just sees this butterfly and he has this memory lapse. And then after that, that's when it revolves to him and getting off this train. He's riding the train and he see these girls like talking about, I catch you, cunt. He's so hot. And then and the girls look at the main character. He stares back at them, and then he just looks down. So he gets off the bus. He gets off the van. Oh, he gets off the bus, not the van. He gets off the train. He gets off the train.
He gets off the plane.
And then he has these and then he pretty much goes to look for Labanic, some kind of coffee shop he tries to look for. And that's when he goes inside. He's like, are you Shojiro? He's like, yeah, welcome to my home or whatever and whatnot. He's like, I've been told to take you in. That's pretty much like I guess like a guest or whatnot. So he pretty much like showed him to the attic and whatnot, said this is going to be your room. Don't cause any trouble. You have a criminal record or whatever. Called him a delinquent or whatnot. He was like, nah, but you'll understand. I didn't. And he had like a flashback of like, of him trying to help this girl out. And pretty much the girl was getting harassed by this guy. Like, help me. He's trying to do stuff to me. So he tries to go over there and help her. And all of a sudden, all he did was just touch her touch the guy. Actually, he didn't even touch the guy. He just walked over there.
He's
and
tripped.
he just tripped him up. Ah! I'ma sue you. What? It just cut the flashback right there. And then pretty much after that, that's when it just skips ahead to when he just walks to school, and it's raining, and he sees like this pretty girl sitting there in the rain, and enjoying the rain together, sitting in the shade, and she was just dust the flower petal off him, and that's when this coach comes. This guy, he looks kind of like a coach to me because he's all buff and whatnot, and then he offers the girl a ride, and then she just joins in and rides with him, and then he offers the main character a ride. He's like, nah, I'm good. And then he sees this guy with scruffy hair. And he just drives off. So that's when this guy with scruffy hair, he's like, man, I can't stand Kamoshida. I guess that's what the guy's driver's name or whatever. So anyway, they're just like on their way to school. And then after that, they get in this palace. They don't know where they're at and whatnot. And then that's when they see these guys in like knights and like strange outfits and whatnot, and they get imprisoned. And then that's when the main character transforms his persona to like save his friend. That's pretty much that.
Okay. Oh, that's where it ends?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Well, I have. See, this is going to be a lot interesting because I will bring this up. Me and Tavon both have played the Persona 5 game, and I was really curious on like what you think about the anime itself. So my question for you would probably be first, how do you feel about the anime after watching the first episode in comparison to how they did it and how it looked compared to the video game?
I feel like I thought it was okay, except that it wasn't a dub. That was my only complaint, but I thought it was
okay.
It matches so far anyway, so far. They just skipped the part where you're like roaming the city, but that's about it. But it matches just for right now.
Okay. All right. Okay, I'm just trying to understand. Okay. And I'll just say the soundtracks for like each part of the anime itself felt. I know like most of the soundtracks are based off like Persona 5, but like how'd you see like they fit for like when you see it in like the anime perspective, like just like straight up anime, no video game whatsoever?
I'd say I'm half and half. It somewhat fits and it somewhat doesn't really fit because you're not really like they're not giving you a chance to immerse in the scenery while the soundtrack is playing. So I feel like they should have probably used a different soundtrack for the anime.
Okay. All right. How would you feel? All right, now how'd you think the this is actually a big one. I don't think it was that bad at first in the beginning, but how do you think the animation feels in comparison to like the original one, the one in the video game?
I mean, I think the animation matches it perfectly. I mean, I was always curious to see what they would do if they make this into a legit anime. So I'm like, so far I'm like, yeah, I'm feeling it right now.
Okay. So what would you probably give it right now from what you've seen from the first episode so far?
I mean, I give it an 8. I mean, just wish it was in dub. I mean, nothing against the sub, but I was just like, how could it be?
Yeah. Okay. All right. I guess that's all I gotta say for now. Yeah. That's all my questions. So I guess I'll go to my last anime now. Okay, and this ended up being, thankfully, the best anime on my list. Thank God. All right, and this was also the anime that I picked from the genre that you gave me, which was mystery. Okay, so this anime was called Kokaku. It's called Kokaku. Okay, and the synopsis for this anime I gave it was: family has the ability to stop time. So basically, I'm gonna get to just what I mean by that. Okay, so it starts off with it starts off like takes place in like the city and whatnot. And you just sees like pedestrians and people walking down the streets and whatnot, and you just see out of nowhere this guy walk past this girl, and then like the guy's like on a cell phone, the girl's like just like looking at like her like purse and whatnot, trying to grab something out of her purse, and then like they like bump into each other, and like the guy drops his cell phone, and then like the girl is about to drop her purse, and then out of nowhere time just stops, and then like everything just stops for like a second, and then like this like invisible demon thing just comes out of nowhere and like goes inside the female, and then like it just like it goes inside the female, and then like the female just like eyes like turn like grayish white or something like that, and then like, and then that's like the start of the show, and like the title just shows up. It's like Coca-Cola. Like, huh? All right, all right, and that's how it starts. So we then get to the actual like main premise of the show, where we get to the protagonist, which is a female named Jury. Now, Jury is like this person who's trying to be this like a businesswoman and whatnot, and she keeps getting like she like started off going like this like audition, like this like interview for a job, and she went to like maybe like 7 or 10 of them at this point, and she's been getting rejected nonstop by every single one of them. And the reason why she's like working so hard to like get like a really good like business job and whatnot is because her entire family is a wreck. Her entire family is a mess. Like, she has a deadbeat dad. She has like a brother that won't do anything. She has like her sister is like the only one that's actually like doing something. And I don't think they brought up anything about the mother. The only thing I know about the mother is that she's either dead or she divorced the dad or something like that. And her brother does nothing. He's a 30-year-old that does nothing but play video games all day and never leaves the house. Oh, I got no problem with that. I mean, what? I'm kidding. Anyway, I was like, why he gotta be a deadbeat for that? I'm kidding. All right, but anyway, we get to this point where Makoto's like talk to his brother right now. Like, literally the moment she walks into his house, I'm home, and it just looks horrible. Like, it also looks like my house sometimes when I see like some of my family. I was like, man, how did the pan get on the ceiling? Like, just like the worst things possible. It's just like dirty, dingy. It's just like literally like everything's a mess. You see his like dad like smoking cigarettes and just like drinking beer and whatnot. He's like, oh, you're home, Makoto, take out the trash. It was like, oh, like it was just bad and whatnot. And like I said Makoto. I meant to say Jerry. Makoto is actually this his other character was actually I'll talk about in a second, but Jerry's just like walking she's just walking like talking to like her like family and whatnot. She just like ignores them and then like goes off and does her own thing. And out of nowhere, she tells her first she's on the phone at the school talking about her nephew, which is her niece, basically, like her sister's son, basically, like the one who's like actually doing good for herself, her sister's son, her older sister's son. And she basically gets a call from school saying, oh yeah, your sister can't pick up her son right now, can you go do it and whatnot? And Jerry's actually busy with another interview, so she says, oh, can you do it instead, brother and whatnot? I forgot the brother's name. I just say like brother. I just say brother for now. So she just goes towards the brother who's like doing nothing, playing video games and whatnot. He's like, oh, but can you pick up Makoto from the school, brother? But I can't pause this. I'm playing an MMO. I can't pause this game, and it legit looks like Final Fantasy 14. I'll tell you straight up, it legit looks like Final Fantasy 14. He's like, I'm not done with this game right now. I can't pause MMO. And she basically like, to be fair, even though like he said no, I didn't feel bad for him when she did this. She turned off the system. I'm like, huh? What you do that for? Like, he's just like, calm down. Now pick up your nephew and whatnot. All right. He was like mad about it, but he like still like went and did it. But then after he goes and like picks up his nephew Makoto and whatnot, this like gang comes out of nowhere. He's like, give me that kid. It's like beating him up, and then like just like drags him into like a car, and then drags like Makoto, like his like nephew, into a car too, and that's it. And I was like, huh, what the hell? And like, they like beat the mess out of him too, and then like just like dragged him and then dropped him into like a van, and then like they like drove off of him and the kid. And then next thing you know, they like call up Jury and like the dad and whatnot, and like say, this is a ransom note. We want 3 million yen by today. We want you to be there by 5 o'clock. Click. And they're like, huh? What do we're basically like, we're not made out of money. We don't have like 3 million men and whatnot. Like, why couldn't they like get like a rich family and whatnot? And then like they're talking to the grandpa about this as well, wondering what they had to do. And then the grandpa out of nowhere, and the grandpa like Jory, the only person that Jory is actually kind of like close to is the grandpa. He's like the only one that actually gives her like advice, like talks to her and whatnot. But like the grandpa's like, oh, I don't know if I fine. All right, I guess there's no other choice right now. All right. And the grandpa leaves, and the grandpa goes and grabs this thing. It's like this orb that has this hole in the middle. And he just says, all right, place your hand over it, but don't cover the hole. So Juri and her dad like cover the like not cover the hole. They place their hand on the orb and whatnot, but they don't cover the orb. And the grandpa just cuts her hand. Like the grandpa cuts his hand and pretty much bleeds on top of the orb, and it goes inside of the hole inside of the spear. And then out of nowhere, basically, boom, and then like everything just stops. Like the entire time just stops, and it just like literally everything stops. And when I just like, what the hell is going on? All right, let's go. And then grandpa's just like, all right, let's go. He's like, what? What's going on? Wait, you ain't gotta tell us about this. All right. You say you want to save the kid and you want to save your brother. Come on, let's go. And they're like, what is this? And then like the grandpa just explains his world and he basically explains that this is the world where time stops moving, and just like I didn't really want to show you guys this world because a lot of people get twisted in this world. Like a few people know about the world, but very few know about it. Like the reason why why he didn't want to show anyone this world is because a lot of people get twisted with greed about this world. It actually made some good points where like if people actually had the ability to stop time, they probably would do this. Where like they said like, oh yeah, there are people that get corrupted in this world and it would eat them alive. Where like they would learn they had this ability, and then they would like use it to steal from people, use it to steal money, or go in the female bathhouses, or go and look up female skirts and end up messing with them or whatnot. I was like, yeah, he got a good point. Like he just said like certain things that would happen is like certain people had the ability to stop time, and it would overwhelm those people, and then they would get eaten alive by like the demon in this world and whatnot. And that's what usually happens. So that's the reason why he was scared to show them this world and whatnot. But basically they like walk into the building where the gang has like their brother and whatnot, and they go in there with ease, obviously, because their time is stopped and whatnot. But out of nowhere, while they're like grabbing the brother and grabbing the nephew and whatnot, and they're about to go like downstairs and they're about to leave and whatnot while everything is frozen, like all the gang members are like frozen and whatnot. Out of nowhere, boom! And they got like this dude just like hits like the grandpa with a pipe and whatnot, and then like this whole gang just comes out of nowhere. It's like a completely different gang. It's like a gang like who
the
apparently
yellow scarves.
Also like this wait, say what?
The yellow
the yellow scarves. Stop. The yellow scar. They're like, it's just like this gang comes out of nowhere, and it's like hits his grandpa with a pipe, and apparently it's like this gang that also has the same ability to be in like the world where time stops moving and whatnot. And what I liked on top about it was this one guy, not by like his personality, because he didn't say anything at first, but it was like he was like the leader of the gang, and he kind of had this suit on, and he had this like slick back hair, but he kind of came off as like, I don't know why it was just such a cool design. I don't know, like if he has a cool personality, he legit could be like, all he needs is a cool personality. He legit could be one of my favorite villains just by design alone, because he had like this slick back hair, but in the back it was like all the way slick back. It was like slick back, but then like spiked up in the back. It was like weird. I've never really seen it look like that before. And I was like, oh shit, this looked like an intimidating villain and whatnot. He's definitely like the main villain and whatnot, but he just didn't really like say much. He kind of just like stared there menacingly, just like watching the rest of his crew like beat up like Juri and the gang and whatnot. And I didn't think it was gonna be like, I've seen like females get hit before, but the way they did Juri, like it was bad. Like at first, like legit, they was just like, no, please. Like she was like holding on to the nephew. Was like, no, please don't hurt him. Please don't hurt him. Man, get out of the way, bitch. Like just like smack him with a pipe. Boom, boom, boom. But I beating the mess out of her with a pipe. I'm like, god damn. Like just like blood's coming out of her and whatnot. She's like coughing the blood. And it was just like had me like kind of cringe. Like, ugh. It was just like, I never seen something like that. It was like brutal at first, the way they was beating her at first. But then like the grandpa like grabs her with like her like with a little strength he has like left, and like grabs her and then like warps her and like teleports. I'm like, what the hell? She he grabs her and then like teleport out of the way and whatnot. And then now they're like running away from the gang and whatnot. And then it's like, how the hell did you teleport, Grandpa? He said, oh, don't worry, everyone has like a different ability in this world and whatnot. And then like they're like running from the gang, and that's like where, and that's like where it ends, and that's like where it like ends off right now. And so far, I'm definitely probably all the anime, I'm probably the most intrigued out of this one, just for like the whole like time scenario and the fact that like getting to know about the world and whatnot. At first I was just kind of like about the show, where I didn't know like how I was gonna feel about it until like they brought like the world where time stays still, and then like they like talked about like what goes on in the world and whatnot, and then things got like crazy right when that happened. So like so far I'll probably give it like an 8 out of 10 right now. I'll probably give it an 8 out of 10 right now, because I'm like probably the most intrigued out of this than compared to all of your anime, just for that concept alone. But any questions?
Would you say it was like how ID Invaded was, where it had something unique about it from different other anime?
Yeah, I definitely say, I wouldn't say it was completely unique, because obviously there's been like shows where they talk about time before, like obviously like Steins Gate, and like shows like that where like they've like seen even like a race where like that he like goes back in time and whatnot, but it was different in concept compared to those anime, because it's the first time ever we like see what someone would do if they had the power to stop time. So like I'm curious to see where this goes. I'm really curious to see what this whole world is about and whatnot. I'm really curious to see like what the rest of this world, because there's also demons in this world as well. And I also didn't bring this up while I was running away from the gang. This like demon came up as well, and there's like, get him. Then like, all right, and then like one of the gang members was about to go as well. They're like, and then get dragged away by a demon. That like caught me off guard. I was dying when I saw that. It just comes out of nowhere. All right, let's get him, guys. All right, let's go. Do. Huh? What? No. Gets dragged away by some demon. But so far I am intrigued, because like I definitely don't know everything about the show yet. I don't know everything about what's going on in that like time world. So I'm curious. I'm like really curious to see what the world is about and like what they do with the world. Now it could end up like ID Invader, where it ends up going downhill. Right? It's like, I'm John Walker. Huh? Nah. Like hopefully it doesn't go that route. But so far I'm like really invested in this show, and I'm curious if they do it right and they don't pull a John Walker or anything like that, and they keep the mystery and intrigue of the world, then like I'll like still be into it right now. But that's about how I feel about right now. But any other questions?
So since it's sci-fi, since it's mystery, isn't there any mystery music? Airy music?
Oh yeah. For the music itself, so far I say the music works for the show. I definitely say like I don't think it's like a certain there's not one track that really like stands out for the time being, except for I meant to bring up the opening though. The opening is actually like, at first I wasn't feeling it. The next thing you know, I started like humming to it, and then like I legit like at first I wasn't feeling it. I was like, say yeah. Going down with it. I was like, wait, why am I humming the song? And then next thing you know, like I go back and listen to it, and then like, this anime is good. Like this opening is good, man. And I'm like, I don't know what happened. It was just like, because the first time I listened to it, I didn't really like. I didn't like it. I just didn't like really think about it. It was like okay, but then like I go listen to it again, and it's just like it was just like really good. I don't know what changed, but it was just like had like this really like good upbeat that kind of like immerses you in the world. So I definitely say, if we were going by any track, I definitely say the opening track definitely like it got me invested into the show. I wouldn't say like so far like there's not any other track that like really like immersed me or got me into the show, but I say it works for the scenario right now. Well, I gotta see for like the next few episodes to see if there's like any other like tracks like really immerse me in the show for the time being. But so far it's just kind of like it works, but it's not like anything like I'll like download for the time being right now, except for like, man, that opening actually did like caught me off guard and whatnot. But anything else?
No, that's all.
Okay. All right. I guess we can go to categories. All right. All right. Favorite character out of the 5 anime you have seen so far?
The guy from Medica Box.
The guy from Medica Box? Okay. All right. And for me, yeah, I'd probably give it to Ash. Yeah, Ash from Gang Wars. Yeah. Ash from not Gang Wars. Ash from
Pokemon.
Not Pokemon. Shut up. No, it was what the hell was that show? All right, where is it right here? Banana Fish. That was it. All right, yeah, Ash from Banana Fish. Yeah. No, Ash from Pokemon. No. Pikachu. Nah. All right. Anyway, worst character out of the 5 anime you've seen. Ijori from Banana Fish. Yeah. At first I was feeling him. I'm thinking he was gonna be a rival, but that was just like he's so bad, and they're like, "Don't hurt me!" Huh? Nah, I wasn't feeling that.
Worst character out of the show? Considering all the stories I told, I can't really say there's a worst character.
Oh, you can't really think of a worst character?
Consider how all weird these anime turned out.
Was there one that was weird enough that made you go like weird in a bad way that you just weren't feeling?
Oh wait, yeah. Actually, that main character in Devil May Cry Baby, where he just started crying at first.
Oh,
why are you crying?
He's
crying. What?
What? Alright. Okay. Alright. Best animation out of the 5 anime you've seen.
Well, I guess I'll give it a Persona.
For me, I'm gonna give it to Banana Fish. Yeah. That was the best thing about it. Oh, Persona? Okay. Huh. All right. Yeah, for me, yeah, Banana Fish. I gotta give that animation was really crisp. That was the best. That was what kept me watching the show. But and also Ash. But anyway, all right. Best atmosphere out of the 5 anime you've seen.
I'll give it a Megalobox.
Megalobox. Okay. Atmosphere. Yeah. I gotta give it to. I give it the Koku. Yeah, Koku. That time stopping anime. Yeah. That atmosphere was actually really good. Okay. Best soundtrack out of the 5 anime you've seen.
I give it a Persona by default. Cause I don't really know good Persona.
Persona by default, just because all the other ones you weren't feeling. You weren't feeling the yo from Megalobox. Okay. Soundtrack for me, just for that one track at the end of what was that? And just for that last track at the end of Bloom Into You, I gotta give it to Bloom Into You, just because I know that like got me like way more invested than I thought it would, just out of nowhere when that track hit. So yeah, I gotta give it to Bloom Into You. Okay. Worst soundtrack out of the 5 anime you've seen.
No soundtracks really stood out to me, so
that was that bad.
I guess I'll just put Megalobox for now.
Let me see. I have one. Let me see one that was bad.
Just because of that one track that played, but I guess just for now.
Okay. I'm trying to think what was maybe the worst one for me. Because Dolly and Franks was actually pretty. No, the Penguin one. That was like, I don't even remember that track. I forgot all about that Penguin anime. That was just, it was just like, I don't even remember the soundtrack like that. I think it was like, bam. I think, yeah, worst soundtrack. All right. Anyway, all right. Which anime out of the 5 is your favorite anime so far out of the 5?
Megalobox.
Okay. And for me, Koku. Yeah, Koku. Yeah, definitely. The one out. It's the only one where I felt like I'm not kind of half and half on. It's all the other ones I feel like I'm sort of half and half on besides the Penguin one. All right. Now for the final one. Which anime out of your 5 are you dropping? I'm about to punt kick that cute penguin. I'm out of there. I already knew right off the bat after watching that. I'm just like, what the? All right, and drop. All right, that's it. I already said enough about that. I don't need no narration. I'm good.
I guess Hina Festival for now.
Hina Festival? Okay. Okay. All right. You sure? You sure it ain't Megalobox? No, I'm kidding. All right. All right. Yep. Guess those are all categories. All right. Guess we can wrap it up now. All right. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, click that like button, and we will be back for episode 10, where we will be talking about the latest 2 episodes for each of the 4 anime we now have. So right now, the 4 anime I now have is Banana Fish, Koku, Darling in the Franxx, and Bloom Into You. And what are the 4 animes you have now left?
Devil May Cry Baby, Conceptions, Persona 5, and Megalobox.
Okay. All right. So we'll basically be talking about like the next 2 episodes for those anime, and I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, click that like button. This is Michael.
And this is Terry.
And we will see you next time.